Good evening. My name is Lisa Ryan, and I'm the co-owner of Microknowledge, a technology computer training firm. Microknowledge provides clients with business productivity tool training such as Microsoft Office, Adobe, SharePoint, SQL, Crystal Reports, and other popular software. My project today is titled Using Pivot Tables in Excel 2016. It's an e-learning module that gives a high-level overview of how to create pivot tables, single-dimension pivot tables, and multiple-dimension pivot tables. The intent of the module is for a value add for my clients, those who have already understood and taken something on pivot tables but want to review, and those who possibly haven't been exposed but know a little bit about Excel and probably need pivot tables. The slide that you're looking at is the first slide of the Pivot Tables e-learning module. The video that I'm going to do is going to highlight some of the key components of the module. In this case, this is the first slide where the learners are introduced to the avatar Lisa. In essence, Lisa is me, my digital self. So this is the first slide, and then I'm going to bring you through a few other key slides in the module. Lisa with different expressions as she discusses certain aspects. So I use Lisa as a way to discuss. I really did want Lisa to be an extension of me, Lisa, so that folks who took training with me would then see her and say, oh, that's Lisa. So holding the coffee cup, it's actually something I do in class, things of that nature. So you'll see Lisa with expressions and things of that nature, just to make things feel a little more comfy, homey, to try to make the client feel a little bit more at home, as though this is just an extension of the classroom training. Introduced to pivot tables, then eventually our first section is how to create a proper list. So there's a question. A question is, what's a proper list? As the learner suggests or clicks on different options, they're going to get either correct or wrong answers. I'm going to click on a correct answer. The right answer, they'll then see this option where there's a green check mark in the graphic of what they selected with some actual verbal feedback. If they chose a wrong answer, they have the opportunity to try again, which would clear off all the options and give them the opportunity to try it again. They are also given choices. So you see choices such as review, try again, and I don't know if it'll actually move, but I'm moving the picture of me under try an example, which would bring them to the next type of example. Then the learner is actually given the opportunity to perhaps review what we've already done or then continue. So Lisa is guiding them and talking them through those steps. Module progresses. At first is a demonstration. Here's how you create a pivot table. And then we're in what's called a you click as we go along. You see where it says go ahead and click the menu option. So Lisa has just suggested to the learner that they go ahead and choose certain things. So if I go ahead and click on insert, and as I get closer it prompts it, and then I can click on pivot table. And what do you click on to accept? And then I'm given some feedback, and I'm not quite sure if you actually heard that feedback, but I'm given some feedback so that I can determine what to click on next. Screens after they've tried several examples of single dimensional pivot tables. You have done an amazing job. The opportunity to either review multi-dimensional pivot tables or then continue. So continuing would allow them to create some multi-dimensional pivot tables, whereas reviewing would allow them to go back to understand what a multi-dimensional pivot table was. So this is after they've already used the single-dimensional pivot tables. To a quiz, they have the opportunity to do a quiz. Now this quiz is graded, and I'm going to answer all the right answers, and then we'll come to the last screen. Of the quiz, then they get their quiz results. At this point, they can either review the quiz, which brings them back to the first quiz question to let them know whether or not they answered the question correctly, or continue, which takes them to the last slide. So if I choose review, this or I choose review, I go to this option and then I have the opportunity to see all of the questions and how I did with the questions. If the learner chooses, they can click continue and they end up on this particular screen. So this is a screen that gives them the opportunity to say, yay, you did it, and we celebrate. But if you want to review these options, you can. So review the single dimension pivot tables, the multi-dimension pivot tables, or say goodbye. So goodbye would take them out. Single dimension would bring them to the section of the single dimension pivot tables, and the multiple dimension would bring them to the start of the multiple dimension. Thanks for taking this journey with me. I hope you enjoy it. The link for the actual e-learning module is on the website that I've included in the links for the project. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a lovely evening, and I appreciate you taking the time.